All right, we're back. All right, so by now we have we picked up an offer inside Invoca, and we've got it approved. We got a promo number from there, and then we went over to Retriever, and we created a campaign. Well, first we created a buyer, and we plugged that phone number into the buyer, and then we created a campaign, and we plugged that buyer into the campaign, and then we built out this toll-free number, which we purchased for $1 from Retriever, and then we copied it into a text file, which is right here. So this is what we're going to use for our campaign. Now, like I said earlier, I kind of have an idea. Well, I know I don't know a lot of details about eating disorders, but I do know there's a lot of volume there, so that's really important. So the next thing I would do is I'd start doing some research. I'd start getting in and I'd start looking at, first of all, I'd start looking at the top keyword phrase, right, in Google. So if I jump into Google real quick and I just start typing like eating disorder, right? This is the way I kind of approach a campaign sometimes is I go like, who's doing the searching, and what's their mindset? Where are they at right now in terms of a sales cycle? Are they at the very top where they're just doing rudimentary research like we're looking at here? They're just looking for information, or are they fully committed and they're convinced that they need a very specific product or service and they're about to call that product or service? How old are they? What's their intent? Are they younger millennial types that are more interested in chatting and texting and not talking to anybody without having the cloak of anonymity? Or are they kind of an old school, like, I don't have time to sit there and like go through your silly web pages. Let me just talk to somebody on the phone, right? Because you can't reach everybody, okay? You got to kind of like pick a path and figure out, okay, what path am I going to go down? Who am I going to focus on? My general inclination here is that when we're talking about eating disorders, we're probably looking at, let's start with images. We're probably looking at two parents, a parent who's got obviously a daughter, probably. It's going to be a female issue, obviously. So the female might not be doing the searching. It may be a parent looking for the female, right? But we know that the person going to treatment is going to be young, female, and it could be either the mom or the dad, most likely the mom probably doing the searching, because usually it's mom who's responsible for the medical stuff in the family. So, your message may be, talking to mom about getting her daughter into, getting some treatment for bulimia or anorexia. Anorexia, what you're looking at here is anorexia. These are people that are starving themselves, right? So anorexia. And bulimia, I think, is the binge and purge, I think. So anorexia, serious potentially life-threatening eating disorder characterized by starvation and excessive weight loss. Bulimia, on the other hand, is going to be the other biggie. Distortion of body image, obsessive desire to lose weight, in which bouts of extreme overeating are followed by depression and self-induced vomiting. So this is kind of like a binge and purge problem. So anorexia is like I'm starving myself because I feel like I'm too fat. That's a mental disorder. That's a thing that's inside the brain. Bulimia is like I love to eat, but I want to look skinny too. So I'm going to eat a whole bunch of food, like 5,000 calories of sugary stuff, and then go vomit. And I'm going to do this like all the time, and I can't control it, right? Again, we're looking at like pick a path. You got to pick a path. I like to look at volume too. So these are things that we're going to be writing down, right? So let's jump in here real quick. Bulimia is something to consider. Anorexia. My spelling really sucks. Okay, bulimia. All right, so these are the two things that I think are on the chopping block that we're going to be focusing in on, right? We're going to just start nailing down some stuff. We can start looking at numbers. Gonna kind of feel for. Let's hit Google Trends real quick. I'm gonna introduce to you. I'm gonna share with you some spy tools. SpyFu. I like to use SpyFu. Let's look at bulimia. All right. So it's in a downward trend. Let's look at the last 12 months. This is worldwide search traffic. Brazil's pretty heavy on the bulimia. Interesting. Isn't that something? United States is second. Okay, so this is just kind of a top level the last 12 months. You don't really get numbers here, and we don't really get a lot of numbers in Keyword Planner either. I'm going to show you Keyword Shitter too. That's another good one. Keyword Planner. Maybe I just got to jump into Google real quick. Okay, so I'm going to jump into Keyword Planner real quick. This is an MCC account. So I have the option of running different accounts under this nice big umbrella of accounts through Google. There's some, let's see. I just want to get into the keyword planning tool. Okay, so everything's paused right now. Good. So we want to look at Keyword Planner. Okay, so let's see. We want to look at volume for bulimia and anorexia, right? And these are guidelines. Google's not giving you exact numbers. They're kind of lying to you in a lot of ways, but at least we can kind of get our bearing, right? We're just looking at relativity here. What's relative? Okay, so we're looking at the last 12 months in Google in the United States. This should work with our Google Trends a little bit. Same business. Okay, so you can see that anorexia is a far more popular keyword phrase than bulimia. You can see that the suggested bid is kind of like in the, it's under $3. That's good. This is just these are all guidelines. This is probably not true at all. You're not going to pay that much. You may pay more. You never know, depending on how bad your campaign is and your quality scores and stuff. Okay, so that was bulimia. So bulimia, and did I spell it right? Yeah, no, I didn't spell it right. God, I'm a dummy. That's all right. Probably helps to spell shit right. Right? Am I spelling stuff right? Bulimia. Yeah, okay. Okay, so according to trends here, we got kind of an uptick. Not as popular in the United States. We're looking at the right shit, right? Nausea, sickness. Okay, so anorexia. So, here's an interesting observation to make, right? You can look at the keyword, the related search word queries to kind of give you an idea. See, people are trying to understand what these things mean, right? So if you can think about it from the mindset of a person who's searching for this stuff, it could be it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be you, and you're like, I have a problem with eating disorders, or I have a problem eating, right? And that's kind of like that weird search query that could be anything, and all of a sudden you've kind of you run across eating problems. Let's just start there, eating problems, right? Now we're at so this is great. So Google pulls up this little snippet. So this is a very broad phrased, I know there's a problem, I don't know the vocabulary, I don't know what to put into Google, I don't really have the descriptive text. They get here and they see this, right? They're like, oh, okay, great. I kind of have some definitions now, right? There's some things. I went from I have an eating problem to, hey, let's research these specifics, these specific eating problems. One is anorexia nervosa. All right, so now we're starting to kind of label the things that we're looking for, right? Binge eating disorder. So these are top level, very broad keywords, right? This doesn't say anything about like, hey, I need treatment, right? And this is just like, hey, I finally could put a label on this problem that I'm having in my life, whether it's me personally or it's my children. So this is good, right? So this is, we're kind of focusing in on the awareness phase of the AIDA funnel, which is awareness, intent, desire, action. We're starting to learn some stuff, and they may even click here. This will give us a little information into what these disorders are. This is what Google thinks is a great web page for these keyword phrases. Notice the phone number up here, eating disorder hope. So these guys have a pretty decent landing page, right? If I were to build a landing page and with the intent of knowing that the traffic is going to visit that landing page and see stuff, this is something to take note of. This is a great landing page because although now, don't get me wrong, this is for repixeling, right? This isn't so much a landing page in terms of like, there's going to be one call to action at the end, and the whole goal is to kind of get them through the funnel, get them through the page, and then get them to create an action at the end. This is again, I pulled this from organic traffic. This is just kind of like a general website that's got lots of information, right? Am I being pixeled right now? All right, there's 3 different tracking pixels on this website. So yes, they are tracking me. They have, let's see here. They have all kinds of stuff. They got a lot of Google Analytics, some Kiss Insights in there, some DoubleClick. I don't see any like retargeting or anything, but a lot of this stuff across Pixel Media, they're pros. They know what they're doing, right? I'm sure they're going to be following me around the internet for quite a while, thinking that I got this problem. But here we go. Okay. So these are things that are going to start popping up. We know that the traffic is better for anorexia just from looking at these numbers here. So anorexia is probably where I want to focus my energy because, obvious reasons, the traffic. So let's jump in here real quick. Let's type in anorexia. I just kind of want to get a feel. Just we're developing kind of an awareness, right? Let's get out of worldwide for a while. Let's jump in the United States. And we're just looking for so Iowa, New Mexico, Connecticut, Arkansas, right? These are places that are thinking about anorexia on a level that's a little above average compared to the rest of the country. Okay, if you really wanted to, like if you really want to get focused, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. So all of these areas right here, all of these colder up in the northeast areas right now over the last year have been pretty hot for anorexia. A lot of things too, like personally, if I know that there's a call, the inpatient facility is like in Florida or California or something, you're probably going to have a higher conversion rate in those areas because they're closer to the facility, right? Somebody in Maine who's looking for treatment would have to probably fly down to Florida to get the treatment, and that's a huge barrier to entry there. That's a huge, that's a lot of work. So the motivation might not be there, right? But we could test it. The beauty of this is that there's so much traffic that there's there's going to be some number of people that can do it. It's just inevitable. Okay, so good. So anorexia looks pretty promising. Related queries. It looks like some weird shit in here that makes no sense to me. A lot of people are looking for. These are like looks like stars. These are people in the news that ICD-10. So now we're starting to get into kind of like codes from. This is great, right? Because what's ICD-10? ICD-10, in my opinion, it's a code. All right. So let's just say, for example, you're a parent. And you obviously have a daughter with a problem. She's got a behavioral problem, right? An eating disorder. You take her to the doctor. Maybe it's the family health doctor. And he does his thing. And he comes back with an ICD-10 code, which basically means, technically, yeah, this is a medical condition. This is a behavioral health problem. We've coded this, which means we could bill for it. You know, and then you're sent home with like a report as a parent, and you're like, I don't know what this means. I just sat in an office with a doctor, and I stared at him in the eyes, and I just kind of nodded my head up and down, but I really don't understand a damn thing he said. So I'm coming home with my report in my hand, and I'm going to start doing research, right? ICD-10 for eating disorder. That could be a key word phrase that you target. You know, you're like, hey, you need help with your ICD-10 eating disorder? Talk to us on the phone, right? Have your verification of benefits ready. You know, have your HMO PPO card ready. You know, let's talk about getting treatment for this eating disorder. So these are good. These are good. These are still kind of like, you know, these are people that, from what I've looked at in other industries with codes, you know, they come back from the doctor kind of concerned and confused, and they're trying to demystify their problem. They're trying to figure out like how to better resolve this problem because the doctor maybe did a bad job. And now they're trying to kind of piece together the puzzle. And this is where you could come in. So if you had like a credible landing page that explained what an ICD-10 code is for eating disorders and how to best you know, resolve that problem for them, then you're going to see a higher conversion rate. You're going to get trust and authority, you know, out of that page, and people are going to trust you more, and they're going to call, and they're willing to kind of follow through. So these are good to know terms, right? Okay, so that's kind of like, this is kind of like how I go about you know, creating a campaign. I just kind of start looking at, when I try to put myself in the eyes of the person doing the search that's looking for the call, and I just kind of work through this, and I get to that point where I'm like, okay, you know, who's that person that's really going to call, you know, because that's what we really want. Okay, so we have that idea. We've what we've done so far is we've kind of whittled things down to like anorexia, right? We know that there's a roughly 165K searches a month in the USA, right? It's pretty decent traffic. If you believe what Google says about cost per click, it's about $2.85. I think that's pretty expensive. I also think you can get the same traffic at Bing for about 25 cents. Okay, so that just kind of puts it in perspective. Of course, the compromise with Bing is there's no click-to-call specific campaign. You can put a call extension in your ad, but 9 times out of 10, people are still going to visit your landing page. Okay, so just kind of know that that's the case there. Okay, great. So anorexia, 165K a month, $2.85 roughly. Ideas ICD-10 on these people right now are looking. Let's do this. Let's just do this real quick. Let's check and see ICD-10 code for eating disorder. Let's just punch that in, see what we get. And as you get better with the vertical, this stuff will get faster and faster. I'm just kind of like, I just wanted to share with you, you know, the best way that I know to get started off to the right foot. Okay, so so somebody who's doing an ICD-10 search diagnosis code. Hey, that's Alex's website. I'm being followed by Alex. Good job. Okay, good. So not a whole lot of information here, right? You're not getting the information that you would hope for, but this is what's ranking, right? Let's go to another page. ICD-10coded.com, eating disorders. I have a feeling, I have a lot of feeling that you're probably going to get some medical offices that use this as ways of billing patients or billing insurance companies. So you're going to get some very specific codes here that probably do nothing for the parent, right? That's okay. This is giving us insight into a lot of things. So we can start looking at these codes, and we can figure out things like what's a valid code, what's an invalid code, loss of appetite, not a big one, right? We can start looking at things that are way critical, right? Because you might find something in here that is like solid gold, right? binge eating purging type, the F50.02, right? So we can jump in here. Bulimia. Okay, so this is like bulimia, right? So let's do this. Restricting type. Patient facilities. Codes of Medicare fee. You kind of get into it, man. Mental behavioral. What I want to kind of do is I want to kind of go and do, is a valid ICD-10 diagnosis code, is a valid submission for HIPAA covered transactions. So let's do a quick search for F5001 real quick. Just see what comes up. So ICD-10, let's just do this. So diagnosis anorexia, yeah. Now, let's do this. Let's jump in here. First of all, let's go drop this in here. Because personally, part of me thinks that this could be some cheap traffic relevant to what we're looking for, right? So we jump in here, boom, ICD codes. Let's kind of give us an idea. We haven't hit the spy tools yet, so we don't even know what our competition's doing right now. Okay, so this is such low search volume that it's not even coming up with anything. Okay, so I still think there's legs there. You might get 10 calls a month on this. You never know, 10 calls. So look at that. So, okay, so competition's really low. F50.01, low competition. I would test it. I probably would, because you're the only one that's going to get the phone ringing off of this guy. So like something that would come to my mind is like if I were to write an ad, I'd be like ICD code F51 anorexia, call us. God, live phone support. Or we can go like comprehensive inpatient treatment or something, like full treatment. I'm just kind of like brainstorming. My ads aren't ever that great. Call us, full treatment for anorexia. Just ideas. Okay, so, but that's it. That's interesting though, because this tells me right now, if you're typing in an ICD F5001 code into Google, you have results in your hands. Either you're the medical side, which we don't want, or you're the parent side and you're trying to figure out more information, right? If you're the parent side, this is great because you can get information here by just calling us. If you're the medical side, well, it's worth a test because, Google is serving up a lot of medical side results. So it's very possible that Google has determined that most medical professionals are the ones doing the searching for this stuff. But I still feel it's worth a test because I've seen it in the, I've seen the same thing in other medical-like settings with other medical campaigns. Information you get back from the doctor, like on a report that gets punched into Google, is good traffic. All right. So let's jump into SpyFu real quick. So SpyFu. Now I want to kind of pull up some usual inspection suspects here in terms of eating disorder. Let's do this: anorexia treatments. Right. This is going to be like the more mainstream, broad approach that most people, like centers, right? That most people are bidding on. This is where the competition gets crazy, right? And you can play this game. I'm not saying that it's not a bad game to play. It's just it gets expensive, and you're dealing with direct buyers that are buying directly and selling directly to the centers themselves, so they have an unfair advantage in terms of how much money they can spend on traffic, right? You got to get a little more creative when you're working from the affiliate network side because there's going to be a margin that's taken away because it's an affiliate network and it's their business. Their business is to kind of make your life easy, but they take some of the money. So we have Rosewood Ranch. I'm just going to grab these guys real quick. I'm also going to do this on my cell phone, right? Because honestly, we want click-to-call campaigns. This is search traffic. I'm on my laptop right now, and this is search traffic. So everything's kind of expected to go to a landing page to be sold, right? A good landing page. But the way I look at it is these guys are in the top 3, top 4 positions, and they're spending a lot of money. This is for the keyword phrase anorexia treatment centers. Right, anorexia treatment centers. And cute, this is Denver. So, and it's getting more and more popular too. So, okay, so here's some competitors. Now I'm going to jump into my cell phone real quick. Right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to type in anorexia treatment centers. And since you can't see really what I'm doing here, I'll just let you know as the results come in. So I am doing a Google search for anorexia treatment centers, plural. And let's see what pops up. So Rosewood pops up. Same phone number. So just to kind of give you an idea. So this is just kind of an idea of what we're looking at here. So these are more, I don't see any. So this is an interesting observation, right? Interesting observation here. Top of the results page, there's only one competitor with a call extension on their ad. Nobody else is running a direct click-to-call campaign for anorexia. That's a red flag for me, right? So big red flag here. Currently, there's one competitor inside mobile. This is just right now, Saturday afternoon. I mean, things could be different. If everybody's day partying and they know Saturday sucks, that's one thing. But these are things you just kind of note. There's one competitor inside mobile running a call extension. There's no click to call campaign. No click to call campaigns as of Saturday, February 11th, 2, 11, 16, 17. Okay, so I would really like to see some click to call campaigns, because that would say, okay, pretty high intent. We want, it works obviously if it's there and they've been running after we get into the spy tools and we see like the same companies there running the same click to call campaign. It's like, oh, okay, it seems to be working pretty well for them. But what I see here is that's not necessarily the case for this keyword phrase. Oh wait, here's one. Okay, so this is probably a marketer down there at the bottom. This is like the bottom, so he's not willing to pay the big bucks to get up above the fold. RehabDetoxHelp.com sounds definitely like a marketer. It's a click to call campaign. Call now, your insurance questions answered. So we can just kind of look at that. I'm going to write that down. This is a marketer. RehabDetoxHelp.com, because we can punch them into. So let's just put a little update here. I'm going to write that down. RehabDetoxHelp.com. Okay, great. What are we doing here on time? We've been in an hour. I haven't even really started. That's okay. Okay, so this is a marketer update. One click to call campaign. Bottom of page. Looks like a marketer. RehabDetoxHelp.com. It doesn't mean he's successful? Chances are it's probably not. So let's jump in here. Let's log in.